Are we there? What's happening?
Okay, I'm checking.
I got a
We're
message
going
saying
live. We're going live.
I'm
Well,
checking the channel page.
There's
I'll let
always
you know when I
there's
see.
always a lag time, and check for on your YouTube up there. There's a go live button that should pop up when it
Yeah,
starts.
it's not gone blue. Oh, here we go. Okay, I've pressed it. Okay, guys.
Now we are live. Yep.
Woohoo! Let's wait for a few people to come on. I cannot see the chat.
Hello. There we go. Hang on.
Now we.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good. Yay!
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yay, we did it.
I just need to turn my volume down. I'm sorry.
We're all here.
Okay.
We're on it.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay.
We got
right.
we got Magic there.
Magic's
Hello,
in
Magic.
the house. Magic says
Right.
it's midnight. Where are you? You must be in
Australia.
Australia.
must be Australia. Yeah, it's midnight
Yeah.
here. That's how much I love you guys. Staying up to chat with y'all.
Oh, I see Anjo. I may be saying that wrong. Some thumbs up. Hey guys, how is everybody?
Welcome to our December Tuesday talks. Oh my goodness. I say this every time, but time just flies. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate it. And we're here today to kick off our new year with some health and nutrition advice from the amazing Shannon Gardner. Welcome, Shannon, to Tuesday Talks.
Thank you for having me.
I think we'll start off by letting Shannon introduce herself, and then Heather and Tony tell everyone all about you and where they can find you, Shannon.
So I'm an SCHH practitioner and QHHT practitioner, and I'm also a naturopathy student. So I have a little bit left of my degree left in naturopathy. And my website is vicehealer.love. Yeah.
I'll go.
I'm just responding over here in the chat. So go ahead, Tony.
I'm Tony from Ropes and Wings. I'm a CHH practitioner as well, and I'm a former medic trying to be a farmer now. All my handles are ropesandwings.com.
I'm Heather. I'm from Quantum Healing Within. You can find me at quantumhealingwithin.com or Quantum Healing Within on my YouTube channel. And I think we
lost Kaz.
Just dropped us. She's like, I'm done. I'm out already.
She'll
You can
come
find
back.
me at Quantum Healing Within. And here she comes. Oh,
So sorry.
What happened?
It's the entities. Don't worry.
They're messing with us.
They are.
What happened, Kaz?
They're like, nope.
My internet just completely went. Did you all introduce yourselves?
Yep.
We did. It's your turn.
I am Kaz from Jennings Soul Therapy. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. Oh my goodness. Right. Shannon, where do you want to kick off our chat? Should we just talk about generally how nature wants to heal us?
Sure, yeah. So in naturopathy, we have 6 different principles that we go by, and one of them is the healing power of nature. So it's basically about the innate wisdom that nature has, and it has a lot to do with vitalism, which is a vital life force that's basically in everything. And so with naturopathy, we kind of take a holistic approach to health where, we believe in healing the whole body. And so nature is just a really big part of what we do. So we don't, like for myself, I will always, I believe that health can be taken care of by nature. I think everything was put here for us, on this earth for us. And synthetic medicines and things like that weren't really a thing anyway until the 20th century, until the early 1900s. Before that, all we had was plants for medicine and other forms of medicine, fungi, mushrooms, animals, all kinds of different things that we use, minerals like gold and other things that, kind of got phased out a little bit during the early 1900s, when they discovered that they could make synthetic products and make things out of, take petroleum-based elements and then turn them into, or sugar from plants, and then put them through these rigorous processes where they then make a synthetic form that our body can't really process as well as the natural form. And so the healing power of nature is really about this kind of invisible force that we can't see, in our body, in our human body avatar that we're here, but it's there, and it's basically nature wants to heal us. Their body wants to heal itself, and we take a holistic approach rather than with the allopathic medical field where they, where it's more about a pill for every ill, and people want to think they can come in and just get a pill from their doctor and that's it. They don't have to put the work in to do the healing, or they want to cut things out, like with surgery, let's just cut it out and that'll fix it. And then people just go back to their bad habits and whatnot. And really nature doesn't work that way. And so it's just such a beautiful thing. And naturopathy was discovered by a man who I was watching your last chat with Beck, and I loved how you guys mentioned the water, because naturopathy was first actually sort of brought to popularity in the West in the last 100 years or so, from this man who was observing this injured deer in the forest, and what the injured deer was doing was going into the water and every day, a few times a day, and healing its injured leg. And as you all know, water has, it holds the frequencies of different things, and so a lot of our homeopathy and flower essences and things works in the same way, where the flower water holds these signature vital life forces from the plants and everything to be able to help treat people. So yeah, it's all kind of connected. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, we have a natural spring just outside of Cambridge, and it used to travel into the city, and there's a big fountain in the market square that this spring water would come out of, but it's all been blocked off and cut off. It's really sad. I'd love it if they would just open that back up. I mean, why not have natural spring water in the middle of the city that everyone could just drink?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We find out in these sessions too that water has its own consciousness. And so you can actually program your water. I've been hearing that a lot in sessions, talking about drinking programmed water, where you put your intention into the water, and you can even put healing intentions into the water. And then when you take it into the body, you're taking those intentions or that frequency into the body for healing. I try to remember to do it, but I forget oftentimes. But I've also had sessions where they said, you can write words on your water, like the word love, and that will infuse it with the frequency through the intention behind it. And who was it? Masaru Emoto that did all of those big water tests with the frequency of the different words. So that's actually proven.
You have spring water, don't you, Tony?
Tony, you're muted.
Muted. Unmute myself. Yeah, no, you can't beat our water, especially my well water is basically like spring water. And I think that documentary, The Secret Life of Water, was my big eye-opening video on what's going on. Because really, after watching that, all they would have to do was put a nanoscopic word into anything they would put in our body, and it would completely change the chemical, the whole outcome of our body. Just a nanoscopic
Yeah.
word is all it would take. Something written just so small, and it would just totally reprogram it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And
A few
water
years
is,
ago,
sorry, Shannon.
a few years ago with the word thing, I did this experiment with rice where I put rice into 3 jars, glass jars,
Yeah.
and I wrote love on one of the jars, sadness, and anger on the 3 jars, and I left them out for 2 weeks in the kitchen. And by the end of the 2 weeks, the jar that had anger on it was really black. The jar that had sadness on it had a little bit of mold and blackness in it. And the jar that said love on it had no black on it at all. So I'll have to do that experiment again and maybe post it on YouTube for people to see. But that was quite a few years ago that I did that now. But just to add to what you were saying about writing the names on the water, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to do that. That sounds awesome. I'm going to give that a try.
It makes
Yeah.
you realize how powerful our words are. And, just writing them on food or water, how that changes the structure. And so just think of the words that you speak to other people and how that affects them, because it's kind of the same thing. You can either lift a person up or you can beat them down with your words. And I believe that it probably has the same effect on us that it does, simply on the water or the rice.
Well, I don't think the universe knows who the words are directed at. So if you're directing the words at someone else, the universe doesn't know, and it's kind of reflected on you as well. So yeah, be careful.
You,
Careful what you say.
most of you probably know that I was a preacher's kid. And I used to always get so pissed off when my dad would say grace over the meal when we were out at restaurants. I would just be completely embarrassed. But I think it was just because he was trying to be loud and make sure everybody knew he was doing it. But I never realized until now how powerful that was and how we should be doing that, because we're changing our food into something more nutritious. And I don't know if he even knew why he was doing it really, but it was actually doing something. I just absolutely hated it.
Yeah, it's the intention behind the words. Even if the words don't match up quite with your belief system, it's still the intention. I think the same way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you want to add anything else, Shannon, onto the words?
No, that's all. Yeah.
Well, I was going to take it back to the grounding. I know we talk about the grounding so much, but water, let's take it back to the water and how that's really good for grounding. Because I know I've said before, I just love sticking my feet in a bowl of salty water. Just love it.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Heather, you like a nice soak, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
What do you like to do, Shannon, like around water and just grounding?
I'm such a water baby. I just love the water. I have to be near it. I have to live near it. I grew up, swimming, constantly boating in the Great Lakes in Canada, and just, it's part of when I did my Akashic Records reading with Beck. She said, they're telling me you really should be moving back to Nova Scotia because apparently you need to be near the water. So I was like, okay, whatever. So that came up in my reading with her. The water was a big thing for me. Yeah. And I love being in fresh water, in the ocean. I just love it. Yeah.
Are you near the ocean now? Or?
I am, yeah. The beach is about 10-minute drive down the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
Mm,
That's so nice.
yeah, I'm a good 50 minutes away.
Yeah, I was thinking of what we were talking about earlier, medicines, allopathic medicine versus healing. And of course, I was always, I was brought up like most people where you get sick, you go to the doctor, you get a prescription for that. And now being on this path, I have really started to wonder, why don't more people, like, why do we look at pills as that's going to heal and fix us instead of there's a root cause of what created the illness in the first place? And not that I think, we talked about this before. Allopathic medicine is great to have for emergencies and things that we need it for. Absolutely. But I'm dealing with an issue right now. I was telling you guys before, where my knee, I've got a lot of inflammation around my knee. And I haven't been eating very good because it's been Christmas and there's been a lot of sugary sweet treats. And I can feel the inflammation around my knee. And it's gotten progressively worse because I'm up on it all the time. And I've got a lot of pain in there. And so yesterday I woke up and it was so bad that I thought, I have to do something about this right now. So I got in the car and I went to our little farmer's market. And I had a list of all the anti-inflammatory foods that I could find on the internet that I thought, okay, I'm going to buy all these, the berries, the broccoli, the peppers and things. And then I made these ginger turmeric shots. I don't know if I'm saying turmeric right, but the fresh ginger, fresh turmeric, and then you just blend that up with some water, throw some pepper in there. I throw some cinnamon and some cayenne in mine as well, and then some citrus fruit. So I did lemons and I meant to get oranges, but I got grapefruit instead. Still, I made these amazing shots, and within about an hour of doing the first shot, I could already feel a slight, less of inflammation around the knee. And I thought about it yesterday and I thought my parents would run right to the doctor if something like that happens, and let's get something to cover up the pain or, something like that. And I run right to the farmer's market to see what foods and what nutritious things that I can put in my body to help lessen the inflammation, because now I'm understanding more and more about healing the body as opposed to just band-aiding the problem until it goes away. So anyway, I just thought I would share, because those ginger turmeric shots are amazing. If you're dealing with any inflammation in the body, you can find all sorts of recipes and they're very easy to make. You just need a blender and to be able to strain all of the pulp out. But you can stock up your fridge with these little shots and they're incredible.
I actually take a morning drink I call clean the pipes drink. So it has a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of ginger, a little they call for a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, but it's a bit hot. A pinch of black powder.
I put the cayenne pepper in mine.
Do you?
I like it. Yeah, I do. I do.
Well, cayenne pepper cures 7 different ailments. But
yeah.
So, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a tablespoon of vinegar, a tablespoon of honey, and I mix that all together and drink it. Of course, now I'm throwing in my super greens and fiber in there as well and drinking it every morning. And I don't feel like I have as many aches and pains as I used to have doing that. So
That's excellent. Yeah, they're both really good. And both of those remedies too are really similar to if someone was going to do a candida cleanse or something like that. They use a lot of those same ingredients for candida cleanses, parasite cleanses, and that as well. And then also with inflammation, getting the ratio right of your omega fats is really important too. So your omega 6, 3, and 9 in different making sure, because if you have too much of those, it can cause inflammation. And if you have too little, then it also can cause inflammation. So if you do suffer with inflammation, that's another area to look at for trying to balance that with foods as well. So, yeah.
I've been doing a parasite cleanse as well. I'm just
you?
now finishing it. Yeah, there's that TikTok, man. TikTok made me do it. TikTok makes me do everything. There's a gal on there, and I just love her. I've been watching her for a while. She started out just educating people about parasites and how many we have in our bodies and how it's connected to so many issues that you can't find the problem for, and it's connected to parasites. So she finally, as she's grown her channel, she finally started putting together her own kits, because what she was finding was a lot of times you can get like one piece of what you need for parasite cleansing, but it doesn't come with all of the different steps. Like you need a binder, and you should be doing something for the candida, and also, the metals and things in our body. So she put together a kit that's got the Parify, I think hers is called a Parify kit. It's Roger's Hood. If anybody wants to know, Roger's Hood, I can't think of the second name, and I don't have anything next to me. But she's really amazing anyway. So it's the Parify, which is the parasite. It's a metal detox, which gets the metals out of the body. And then I can't think of what the third one is, but that's for the candida. And then she also sends you a binder, so that helps to latch on to everything and get it out of the body. And she's got some other things, the fulvic acid foot soak, which I've got. I just haven't used it yet to see if you've got any little critters that come out of your feet. And there's something else that you can get with it. But anyway, it's been amazing. I haven't had anything crazy, so I'll just leave it at that. But it's interesting to see what other people on the app have come out of their body. So parasite cleanse is a good thing for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we could leave some details for that under our videos.
Yeah, that would be great. I can find that. I'll make a note really quick.
Well, you've inspired me as well, Heather. I'm going to have to do that now too.
Yeah, it's really great. It covers all the bases.
And in our session, we're cleaning out the energetic parasites. So it's important for us to clean out the physical parasites left behind that we can't get to in our sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been having that come up a lot in sessions, having entities attached as parasites as well. And it got me thinking about us eating more high vibrational, high frequency foods, as well, if that can help to rid us of our energetic parasites as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just having a healthy gut is the best starting place, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For a lot of issues. So what about things we should be eating? I know we've talked about the shots, which sound amazing. What do you recommend, Shannon, for anyone, like the basics of nutrition? And
yeah, basically I just I don't believe in kind of the fad diets. I could basically list off what's wrong with most of the fad diets out there, and why most of them, I think that just getting back to nature, like thinking about maybe how we used to eat before fad diets were even a thing, before all this canned and processed food came, into our being, and just thinking about just really thinking about everything in a nature way of getting back to eating how we used to, and thinking of everything how it is. I say just forget about putting a label on it, vegan, paleo, keto, just get rid of it all. And because everyone's different as well. Like I know people who are doing keto and they've lost a lot of weight and they still have a thyroid problem. There's people eating vegan and then they're just still eating chips and processed foods. There's basically the no sugar diet's good because yes, it's good to cut down on sugar, but the no sugar diet isn't no sugar. If you want to be no sugar, you would have to do the carnivore diet, which is completely meat and nothing else. So it's because the no sugar diet should really be called the no processed sugar diet. But oftentimes, even in the no sugar diet, they substitute one processed sugar for another. Like I've seen, they'll say, "Oh, don't make this recipe, but instead of using granulated sugar, just add in rice malt syrup instead," or something, which is also quite processed. So depending on your health issue, everyone's going to be different of what they need. If you're lacking vitamin C, whether you've got rheumatoid arthritis, whether you've got cancer and you need nutritional oncology, everyone's got really a thyroid problem that's going to need something completely different to someone like with Heather's situation with her inflammation. So, it's just getting back to nature as much as you can, eating really as natural as you can. Like a lot of the vitamins that are out there, like I was saying before, really, they've gone from, like, if you can get your vitamin C, I like to use vitamin C as an example, because what they've done is they've taken, so this, even in a lot of health food stores, so I have like a vitamin C powder here that's all made with whole foods. They basically have dehydrated and put it into a whole powder. But if you, it's got things like kakadu plum and other things in there. But if you say get absorbic acid and you take that in your body, what happens is the absorbic acid is basically just the outer shell of a full, like a full vitamin C complex. So vitamin C actually has other things in it. It has copper in it. It has something called vitamin J in it, which is most people haven't heard of, which is like, so if you're lacking vitamin C, you can run out of breath really easily. So So vitamin J will help you so that you don't run out of breath. But if you're just taking absorbic acid, which is most of the vitamins that they sell out there, that's made with glucose that they've put through a process with acetone and, heated it up to high temperatures to create this absorbic acid that's supposed to mimic vitamin C. Well, it doesn't have all these other components in it, like the copper, the vitamin J, and vitamin K in it that make up the whole complex of it. And then another component called rutin. And your body needs all of that whole component if you're lacking vitamin C. And yet for some reason in most of the vitamins, you're just getting the outer shell of that whole complex, which is absorbic acid. So I know there's a lot of juice haters out there. Like I saw this post the other day, I was saying like green juice is a lie or something like that. But if like I would take a glass of orange juice or eat oranges any day over taking synthetic vitamins. And when you pee and it's yellow, it's because your body's rejecting it. You're taking something like that example that I told you with the absorbic acid, that your body is just not able to use it. And so it's rejecting it. And so that's a good indication if you do buy supplements and your urine is yellow, it's your body's kind of rejecting. It's not going to absorb it the same way as if you were to eat the actual food. And so I'm just like such a big fan of just eating the actual food or the plant more than taking vitamins. And then if you do need to get supplements and things because you are deficient in something like this powder, something like a powder like this is good. Or if you're, say, it's for, you've got high estrogen or your hormones are a bit out of whack as you're getting older, you can get a powder that has all the different herbs in it. Like this one has black cohosh, pomegranate, I'll just name a couple, chasteberry, which are amazing for helping to regulate hormones for women and who have high estrogen and regulate and normalize everything. Things in there for the thyroid as well. So this is a powder. It tastes like a barnyard. It tastes like hay, but it's still better than taking the synthetic stuff. And then also if your estrogen levels are high, for instance, if you there's also an indication there that there also might be back to the candida cleanse thing, because a lot of times when our estrogen is high, it's because we need to do a candida cleanse, and it's really hard to get that down without doing a candida cleanse first.
So how do you know if your estrogen levels are high? What would be the signs?
Well, you can get a blood test done. So going to a naturopath or like a naturopathic doctor for you guys in North America, or you can go to your regular GP as well and get a blood test to find out. Is really the best way, I suppose, to find out for sure whether your estrogen levels are high or not. Yeah.
Would it be good to take something like that and be proactive? Like if you're an older lady or approaching your older years, would it be good to just add something like that into your diet?
Definitely, because that happens a lot for women as they age, and for men too. A lot of some of the same herbs are really good for prostate as well, and keeping prostate health under wraps as well. And so they're kind of related because they're both, they use a lot of the same herbs for both, for men and women. Yeah.
You mentioned fulvic acid too earlier, and I've been reading a bit about that. It's good for so many things. Is there a way to find that in food naturally, or is that something you'd have to have a supplement for too?
Are you talking to me?
I was talking to Shannon. Or was I talking to you? Who mentioned it?
No, I'd mentioned it, but I didn't know if you were. I thought you might have been directing that towards her. Mine is a foot soak. So it's just, this one that I have says not for consumption. So, but I do think that there is fulvic acid for consumption, but maybe this one's a little bit different. It's very black, and you just, you're supposed to just put your feet in it, or you can put it in a bath, and it's supposed to pull the toxins and even parasites, because I guess we get them up in our feet, and it's supposed to help release those. I haven't done it yet, but I've seen pictures of what people have posted after they do it. But the fulvic acid, I know there's fulvic acid that you can take, right? But I'm just not sure, other than toxins, what it's for. Maybe Shannon knows.
Yeah, well, again, with the synthetic supplements out there, folic acid can be dangerous if it's used in the wrong way. Some of the pregnancy vitamins that they told us to take, including myself back in the day, they're learning now that a lot of the folic acid and the pregnancy vitamins that they got us to take are, because of their synthetic make, we're actually doing more damage than good, some of them, to pregnant women. And I took them, thought I was doing the right thing before my pregnancies, and I didn't know then. So there's things like peanuts, beans, sweet potato, different things, that you can get the folic acid from, for sure.
I think we're talking about two different. I'm saying fulvic with a V, so FULVIC, and you're saying folic. That's okay. It's probably my Southern accent that throws you off.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the fulvic that I read recently was good for Alzheimer's, but maybe that's because it's pulling all those metals out of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cilantro is good for pulling the metals and the toxins out too. Cilantro and there's all
blueberries too, I think is a good one for that. There's a medical medium, I think he has a metal detox smoothie that's got, I want to say, the cilantro and the blueberries and other things, but if you drink it, it's specifically supposed to pull the metals out of your body.
Nice.
Go ahead, Tony, were you going to say something?
Well, Lana had asked, what about menopause? Is there anything to help with menopause?
Well, right before you hit menopause, they're going to have a change in hormones. So a lot of those, something like the one that I just mentioned has a lot of different herbs in it that are good for the changing of the hormones and how they end up changing. So yeah, a lot of the same ones would be good for that I just mentioned, the pomegranate, black cohosh, chaseberry, basically, this is for that period of before menopause. And then, there's heaps that you could take for that as well to help regulate.
Hold that up there again, or Shannon, right in front of the.
Okay, this one's in Australia. This is made by a naturopath.
Right there, that label.
It's called Fem 21.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we have anything here that's similar. Hormonal balance.
Yeah, if you can get a powder with some of these. So this one has psyllium husk that helps to regulate you. It has things in here for the thyroid. The thyroid regulates a lot of our hormones in the body. So we have our hypothalamus, our pineal gland, and then which are basically above the thyroid gland. And then below that, the thyroid gland is responsible for most of the regulation of the rest of the body. And so, yeah, it's really important to have a thyroid that's regulating properly. Do the candida cleanse. Oftentimes, doing a candida cleanse as well will really help to lower your hormonal problems, just doing that. And another thing about the candida and that is that like these with nutritional oncology, like the Gerson therapy, the Nori protocol, a lot of their patients who come to them, like probably 100% of them have an overgrowth of candida, which is very, why does pretty much every cancer patient have an overgrowth of candida as well? So there's multi-strand probiotics. Probiotics is another thing to mention, because you can actually, without taking probiotics, your gut flora will multiply on its own and flourish. And when your own gut flora, the healthy bacteria in your gut is low, and you've got bad bacteria or parasites or candida in your gut that's taking over, it's important. But your gut flora eats plants and things like the pulp and that's in your fruit. The fiber that's in your fruit helps make up the cell walls, and that's like food for the plants, and the fiber and everything is like food for your probiotic, for your gut bacteria as well. So probiotics are good, but you can basically feed and multiply your own gut bacteria without taking it as well. And you have to be careful with probiotics too, because you don't know what strands you're putting in. Like your gut bacteria might not even have the strands that you're adding into your body as well. So you could be actually just adding new ones in, and they got to get used to the new environment. The ones that are in there have to get used to the new ones that are in there too. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. Chaseberry is really good for ovarian and dopamine regulator, and it's good for regulating progesterone. black cohosh is good for estrogen balance and metabolism. There's all kinds of good ones in here. Bladderwrack is amazing for thyroid. There's also an amazing product that I absolutely love is sea moss. So this is sea moss in a gel
Oh,
form. It
I've
has
been hearing so much about sea moss lately.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
got like 92 different minerals and nutrients and that in it. So you can get it.
Isn't it like just about all of the minerals that your body needs can be found in sea moss? Is that
Pretty
correct?
much.
Just
Almost
about
all
all
of
of them.
them. It's like
Yeah.
92 out of 102. So it's missing 10, but it's really
Wow.
hard to get iodine, like natural sources of iodine are one of those things that people struggle with. And so seaweeds are really good for that. But yeah, it's amazing, this
Yeah.
product. There's
It's
also
on my
other
list of things to try.
Yeah, gold and silver, they don't add that onto the list of essential minerals. And it makes me wonder why. Why aren't they added? They've been using gold and silver for years up until the 20th century as medicine for people. So, and actually,
Do you mean like
Yes.
the monoatomic gold? Is that what you're
Like
talking about? Or
monatomic.
you're just talking about putting them? Yeah.
Yeah, like monatomic gold. So yeah, anyway, I just also wanted to say that as a disclaimer as well, everyone watching this needs to, do their own research. This isn't medical advice for anyone to go, okay, because you really do need to go see a naturopath yourself or another health professional of whatever kind to really find out what you have specifically, because anything that I'm saying, it's important to decide for yourself or visit your own professional to find out exactly what's going on. So don't take what I'm saying is like going home and saying, oh, she gave me this, Shannon told me to take this, whatever. So anyway, the sea moss is really good. You can get for the candida cleanses something like this to add as extra support too. It has different things like cat's claw twig bark, St. Mary's thistle seed. I've taken this one when I do a candida cleanse. It's excellent. There's wormwood, there's all kinds. There's for the hormone thing for getting up to menopause as well. And when your estrogen and progesterone and stuff is really out of whack, this is wild yam cream. It's good to use topically as well as another one.
What's it called?
It's wild yam cream.
I thought you said yam. I'm making my list over here. Yam cream.
So that can be used topically.
Check
well
that out.
in different areas, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah.
Juliet says in the chat, she says she's been eating onions, garlic, and honey mix for healing her lungs. So I have that as well. I had posted that I was making my jars. I don't know if you remember Kaz and Tony. I posted in my group I was trying to share. And that was also TikTok. That TikTok, it can be dangerous, but it can be a wealth of knowledge. Jars full of honey, but I've got one that's got the turmeric, the what do I have? Ginger, cinnamon, oregano, lemons. What else is in there? That may be the only one in there. And then I've got another one that's a little stronger that I made after I made that one, which has got onions and garlic and oregano and lemons covered in honey. And I keep those in my fridge. And anytime that I feel anything sort of coming on, like I think, okay, here comes a cold or a sore throat, I just run in there and start taking tablespoons of that throughout the day. I haven't had anything yet. It's been really powerful, I think.
Yeah.
And she was wondering if it was also an anti-parasitic, what she's doing with the onions, garlic, and honey. And that's one of the things I add into my drink I have in the morning is a tablespoon of garlic. It's just powder, not actual full garlic. But I really think that actually keeps it keeps the bloodsuckers away, like the ticks and mosquitoes and everything. I might stink
Yeah.
real bad too. I don't know, but
It keeps everybody away. So
right.
there you go.
There you go.
Keeps the vampires away.
Right. So, and your honey is an antimicrobial, it's antibacterial, it's so that combination, shoot, it might do something as an anti-parasitic as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah,
can't do any harm.
People put garlic in as a natural dewormer in, like, if you've got chickens, you can put it in your water and that will be like a natural dewormer for your chickens and that as well. Yeah.
Before we we run out of time, I really wanted to ask Shannon about the herbal essences because she knows so much about those. And I'd mentioned to Shannon that the heart keeps coming up a lot in my sessions. Opening the heart, feeling from the heart, moving into that heart space. And I had asked if there was some good essences for that. But I think you'd said you had some for all the chakras.
I do, yeah, but I'm not going to list them all because there's so
It's
many.
a lot.
Kind of highlighted.
Should we just stick to the heart then, or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll start with the heart.
Because that's what we need. That's what we need to open up in everybody. We need to open up that heart chakra. We need to
Yeah.
start feeling and thinking and from our heart. That's how the gifts all open up.
Yeah, so for the heart, there's one called rough bluebell. It's good for helping a person fully express the love vibration innate within them. Yeah, so it helps with the heart chakra. It helps people get in touch and express unconditional love and things like gratitude and that. And then
Which one was that, Heather or Shannon? I didn't hear that. What was it?
it's called rough bluebell. So these are some of the Australian, I have a list of the Australian flower essences that which chakra they belong to. There's literally hundreds of different flower essences out there. Like this one range alone just has 69 in the Australian bush flower essences. There's so many other ranges that I've learned about as well. There's a few specifically that work really well with hypnosis and a lot of the issues that come up in hypnosis as well. Fringe violet has to do with the heart chakra. It's when there's damage to a person's aura, if the person's experienced some sort of shock or traumatic event, that also, as you guys know, like breaks the aura, the seal in the aura. And Tony, you would have seen that a lot as a paramedic. Like if you think of all the emergencies and what that would have been doing to people's auras and all that too, I just realized. So that can help with that. And shock from trauma, like with PTSD and other things, like it can linger for a long time and then come out in a rash like eczema like years later. So that the fringe violet can help with that, helps with sealing the aura and making that better. You can use it in things like massage, even for massage therapy, and help protect the massage therapist from just absorbing the energy from their clients and things like that too. There's pink flannel flower that just helps with gratitude, like helping everyone to feel more gratitude. A lot of the flower essences, they're good for physical conditions, but a lot of emotional conditions as well. So yeah, that's why I chose naturopathy over. Originally, I started taking 2 degrees in naturopathy and dietetics because I didn't know which way I wanted to go. But naturopathy then has a lot to do with spiritual health and emotional health as well. And I saw this, decided to go in that direction rather than dietetics. There's nothing wrong with dietetics. Every type of modality is needed, but I started going in the naturopathy direction because of how related it is to, and how much I learned that spiritual health is so needed with the whole healing process as well, that you can't just fix the physical body with nutrition and food, you need to heal the spiritual side as well. So, yeah.
Can you
It's-
explain how to use, I'm sorry, Tony, you can go ahead. I just wanted to see if you could explain how to use a flower essence. Is it ingested? Is it topically? Both?
Yeah. So you can use it topically or ingested, but the most popular way is ingested. So you can make your own actually as well. It's really quite easy to make your own. To make your own, all you need to do is get some flowers from whatever plant that you want. You pick the flowers and then you have like a glass bowl of some natural water. So spring water is really good. It's probably the best. And you put the flowers in and they soak in the water for a couple hours, and you put it out in the sun and allow it to soak. And basically that makes the mother tincture. And that's basically what flower essences is. So it's you're getting that imprint from the plant. Like we were talking about water and how you can write love on water and it will change the frequency of the water. Well, it's the same sort of idea with the flower essences. It gets the unique signature from the plant in encrypted into the water basically. And then from then, so that's the mother tincture. Then you take that and you make a stock bottle. So I made myself one up. This is red grevillea. I've been struggling with like a decision, like a personal decision, and this one helps with if you need to make a decision of something that you need to do. This is going to help you with that. So I made myself one up. So this is a stock. So after the mother tincture that you would make, then you take the mother tincture and you create a stock bottle, which they add brandy to it. Brandy is the alcohol that they used as a preservative from the beginning of time, from the beginning when they started making them. If you want alcohol-free ones, then just make up the mother tincture, like I just said, with soaking the flowers in the sun into the water. So this is the stock bottle, and then you take the stock bottle. If you want to make a dosage bottle up for your clients, then you get another bottle. You put a tiny bit of brandy in that, again with some spring water or distilled water, something like that, and then you add about 7 drops of this into here. So this is the one with the red grevillea that I made for myself, and then you basically just take it and you put like 7 drops under your tongue like that, and you just take it for 2 to 3 weeks, and you can take that morning and night, a couple times a day or a few times a day. You can put it in water if you don't want to take it under your tongue. So yeah.
So you made a great video recently. Did you not, explaining all this too, Shannon?
I may have, yeah. I did a video of just like I made up a flower essence for a client that I had who was experiencing some psychic attacks and had a lot of entity attachments, just so that he could, and basically for aura protection and protection against for like more psychic attacks. So yeah, I've been kind of sending bottles to my clients, things like that to help it, depending on what comes up in their session. So yeah, it's a good kind of added support for people with the sessions, with all the different emotional things that come up in hypnosis. So that's been good.
Absolutely.
So say like I didn't have much money, what would my kind of basic essential oils to get be? Is there like a core that you would start from?
You can
No.
buy them individually. So buying the whole set's quite expensive to buy the whole set. I would just start with whatever you're feeling and whatever you need help with, like whatever kind of sort of emotional issues that you personally feel as though that you need, or for you guys doing hypnosis in your line of work, maybe if you want some extra support in your line of work to protect yourselves as well. you know, because protecting ourselves is really important in this line of work as well, and making sure our aura is protected and things like that. So yeah, there's one that I absolutely love called Angel Sword. I'm gonna read it because in case I miss anything out, but there's ones that like bring out past lives, like things from just traumas, like really ancient traumas from past lives that people are still dealing with. There's different flowers that help with those. There's all kinds, ones to help you, you know, connect with your higher self better. Yeah, ones for telepathy. There's all kinds of different ones. So yeah, there's tons. Ones for every chakra. Yeah. So
I want the angel sword.
I want
do
that
too.
too. Where do we buy that?
I bet it's just in Australia, isn't it? Is
It's
that an Australian one?
well, you can buy all of these flower essences all over. They do sell them all over, at least.
Okay.
You know, yes, it is part of the Australian bush flower range, but it is, yeah, it's amazing too. It helps with most of those things I mentioned, with trying to, like, just with protecting your aura, psychic attacks, helping you connect to your higher self, you know, healing traumas from past lives, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like my favorite because it kind of covers the most out of what we do in hypnosis. It kind of covers the most in that sort of field. Yeah.
Are these something that you could just take like once or twice and have good results? Or is it like you said, where you really have to take it for a week or two in order to see?
Well, there's
Does it
things like
depend?
emergency essence and certain ones that you can take for acute conditions like that. Like if you say, or someone that has panic attacks or anxiety, you could have an emergency essence one in your handbag or something like that. But most of them, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks is what we recommend to take. And then if your issue isn't resolved by then, just take it longer. You can take it longer as long as you need until your issue is resolved. If your issue is resolved before that, you can stop taking it as well. So yeah, it's just kind of going on a basis of when your issue is resolved, you no longer need to take it, or you can take it as a preventative measure so that that doesn't come back as well. So, yeah.
Juliet says, how about a bulk US order of Angel Sword? We'll just all get in on that. Just buy it in bulk and slather it everywhere.
I'm just curious to know, when you put the brandy in, it doesn't just all taste of brandy.
It does taste like alcohol, like I can taste the alcohol in it. Yeah. And so, I mean, it does taste, you can taste the brand. It's not very, it only gets a little, it's the tiniest little amount. And yeah, like I said, if you don't want they do sell, like the box flower remedies now sell them without alcohol, and then they use something else as an ingredient substitute. If you don't want the ones with alcohol, it's really just in there as a preservative, because if you have the flower water without it, the shelf life isn't going to be very long for it. But like, I mean, if you're just using it for yourself for a couple weeks, and you want to make your own, go for it. You can, and you get this beautiful energy by having all these plants and flowers around you in your garden and in your home as well. And you're generally attracted to what you need. So the flowers that you love and that you're attracted to are generally the flowers that you probably need for what you're going through as well. It's usually how it works. So yeah.
So if people want to,
I'm sorry, Kath,
I
go ahead.
was just going to say, if people want to find out more, could they go to your website? Do you have some information on there, or can they contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me like by email if they want to know more information. There's also a ton of information on like, so this one range is the Australian bush flower essences. So they have a website and they have a list of all the different essences on there. So you can order them yourself individually, or you can get the whole range. The whole range that I have, it comes in 2 boxes. It's quite expensive. It's like $700 and something dollars. Comes in 2
Wow.
boxes where they have the whole range. So 2 of these boxes missing because I took it out to show you guys that one. And then it comes with, so I just order more of the bottles myself to mix them. And then I just buy the brandy separate to mix them up. But one of these will make several bottles, like something like 30 different dosage bottles. So it lasts a long time, one bottle to use for each client. So even though I spent like $700 and something on the whole range, it's going to last me a long time. And it's got the brandy in it as a preservative. But definitely if it didn't have the brandy in it, it wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be buying the whole set if it went bad. Didn't have that. I mean, these are good for like a couple years at least.
Wow.
So like this one's till 2027.
Oh, wow.
With the
I have a
brand.
list of things I need to get.
I know, right?
Just let
I
me know.
purchased the box. I'm sorry.
No, that's
The
so
box
sorry.
the rescue remedy. And I think you recommended it to me, Shannon, for the pets, because we were talking about the bunnies when we were having some issues. But that box rescue remedy for the pets, that's like what you were talking about, one of those quick acting flower essences. Yeah. So I gave it to my dog because he has a difficulty going in the car. And I thought, I'm going to try this and see what happens. It knocked him smooth out. I don't know if I gave him too much, but he was just loopy for like the rest of the day. And I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't give him very much, but it was powerful. Good stuff.
Magic mentioned Gumby Gumby, and I had a client once who told me she used that on her dog when her dog was poorly. Magic said it's for parasite cleanse. Have you heard of Gumby Gumby? I'm assuming it's like an Aussie, New Zealand thing.
No, I haven't actually heard of that one. And I've heard of hundreds. So yeah, I'm gonna look that one up now.
Yeah,
I think it's a plant.
He says it's an Aussie plant.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look that one up. Thank you. It's gonna be another plant to look up.
Yeah, sorry, something else for you to add to your list.
I've heard moringa is really good too. Is that a tea, Magic? Is that moringa? I've been hearing a lot about it, but I can't think of what it is. General Health is what Magic says. And Alice says she's used spot flower essence for over 20 years and they work.
It's the same with the food, right? We should just be using what's in our natural surroundings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
there's difference between flower essences and essential oils. So it's easy to get the two mixed up, but essential oils are basically a really potent oil and the essences are a flower water. So the essential oils are like an oil that's secreted from the secretory cells, kind of like if you like think about what blood is to human, it's kind of like the blood of the plant. They're really good too. They're taking like a really potent part of the plant and using that mostly topically, and most of them you're not even meant to use directly on the skin or take orally. Like these companies that have people taking them by mouth and stuff, there's been all kinds of incidents where people have been burned and stuff. Really the only two are lavender and tea tree oil that are safe to even put directly on your skin. Actually, I'm going to be starting to sell lavender oil on my website because while I was traveling in Tasmania recently, so I've been an aromatherapist since 2001, and I came across this amazing lavender oil from Tasmania, and I put it on my rash that I get from my yeast allergy. If I eat, pizza, or if I'm a bad girl, eating those things, and a rash, my allergy rash comes up, and it has cleared it up better than any other lavender oil I've used. Any steroid cream that I've ever tried in the past, and nothing's worked better. It's amazing, this lavender. So if you have a rash or eczema, and you want to try the lavender oil that I'm going to be selling, it comes directly from the farm, and they distill it in the best way. You have to be careful because there's essential oil. A lot of the essential oil companies out there, they get away with putting a lot of other crap in their products because the FDA, with their guidelines, says that they can write that it's pure on it, and it's not. So I have a naturopathic doctor friend in the US who tested a bunch of different brands of the essential oils to see what was in them, and some of these big companies that are well known, that were started in Silicon Valley, and that did not have very good ingredients in their products. So she has kind of a list, and so I'm very particular as well about where I source essential oils and things from, to make sure that they're distilled so properly, to get the best sort of ingredients for people.
Yeah, I think that's important, isn't it? Do your research on where you're buying from. Yeah.
Hey, Alice asked which remedy works for
Good luck with that one.
flocculitis, please. Folliculitis. I can't pronounce it right.
We're just butchering that.
We are.
Folliculitis.
Folliculitis.
So is that folliculitis? Is that referring to the condition in
follicles
for your sweat glands, that sort of thing?
Alice, give us.
Is that like hair?
Sweat gland disorder.
Folliculitis.
Yep,
Yeah,
Alice.
so
I don't know what that is, so
it's like either like lack of sweating or excessive sweating or over. It's one of those. I learned about that back in like 2001 when I took aromatherapy, I remember. So it's one of those. I know it has to do with the sweat glands, or there's hyper, there's one. So can you ask her, is that the one where
hair glands? She says
hair glands.
Oh, Magic says hair glands.
Hair glands, yeah, same thing. Your sweat, you've got your glands like that, sebum comes out of with your hair glands. I think sebaceous glands. Every sebaceous gland has a hair in it as well. But yeah, there's lots of different ones. I say try the lavender oil because it can be used topically. All the other oils you have to use mixed with a carrier oil, and that's really important to get a good carrier oil as well. I would try the lavender and see how it goes. Lavender is antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So is tea tree. You can put it on like eczema, toe fungus, bacterial infections, a lot of like pretty much most things you can use the lavender. I prefer the lavender over the tea tree because it smells better. It has a much better, like tea tree is really strong, but you can try tea tree as well. But lavender is very soothing as well. Like if there's heat involved, or it will help calm it and help it to feel better as well. yeah, I would try the lavender.
She's saying that if she shaves her legs, the hair holes get infected. But I bet, Alice, you could make like a little, almost like your own homemade shaving cream with the lavender and the tea tree even mixed together, and maybe use that when you're shaving.
I'd try lavender for sure. Definitely lavender. You can also, if you want to add the lavender to a carrier oil, the best carrier oils to add essential oils to are things like grapeseed oil or sweet almond oil, because they penetrate into the dermis. So when you use essential oils topically, they're absorbing into your bloodstream. But in order for them to absorb into your bloodstream, you need to have an oil that's able to reach the dermis where the actual capillaries and blood vessels are located. Otherwise, if you're using like olive oil or another type, coconut oil or mineral oil, it's not going to penetrate as much into the dermis, where you need the essential oil to get down to the capillaries to be able to absorb into the bloodstream. So grapeseed oil and sweet almond oil are two really good ones that absorb, will help any essential oils that you use to be able to get into the bloodstream that way. But yeah, I would try lavender oil. It's amazing topically for rashes. It was the first oil that how they discovered essential oils. It was a dude named Maurice Gadafoss, and he was a perfumist, and he burnt his hand one day while he was in his lab making perfume, and the only thing he saw to dip his hand in when he badly burned himself was a jar of lavender. And that's how he discovered the healing effects of essential oils, was because his burn healed up with no scars, nothing, and he was amazed at how wonderfully his burn had healed up. But yeah, lavender's amazing. It's probably my favorite one out of all of them. I use lavender for like everything.
So you,
Yeah.
Well,
Try
I went lavender picking this summer. I still have a jar of lavender, and I was drinking it, and now I know to drink it before bed because it makes you really sleepy.
Yeah. I've got some lavender tea here as well, but I just sipped it, but I'm gonna have one after our chat.
to go to sleep. You're gonna have to tell us when you have that available on your website there, Shannon, the lavender.
Thanks. The company, I just messaged them before Christmas, and the lady got back to me today. So I think they just had a little bit of a break over Christmas, and so it should be, as soon as they can ship it to me from Tasmania, as soon as it gets in, it will be on there. I've tried everything. The only other thing that kind of helped with my rash on my hands that I get being with my allergy is a CBD cream that I found in Canada one time. But at the time when I tried to bring it back from Australia, it wasn't allowed at the time. CBD oil was banned here for a little. It was like legal here, and then they banned it, and then I think it's legal again. But that was another cream that I used on my hands that really helped as well, with a CBD cream that someone was making it naturally and selling it at the market. So that's another thing,
Yeah,
Alice, that you could try as well. With the follicles after you shave, getting infected too. Sometimes that happens if the skin is growing over top of the hair follicle really quickly. And then what's happening is sometimes the skin and the oil that you have in your skin is covering over top of the hair follicle. And then it's not allowing the sebum to come out, or air getting in and out of the follicle. And then so it's getting infected. It's the same sort of thing that happens with acne when we get pimples. Our skin on our body it sloughs off every 2 days. So we get more new skin, our skin just sloughs off. And so if you have a lot of oil in your skin, those the skin that's supposed to be sloughing off tends to get stuck over the follicles a lot from the natural oil, which is sebum that we have in our skin. And then it gets over top in the air, you can't get oxygen or anything in there. That's creating an environment for you to get pimples, acne, and for your hair follicles to be infected as well, because it's like covering the hole, and then it's creating this environment within the hair follicle that's making them infected. So exfoliating, you can make an exfoliant with essential oils, with the sweet almond oil or the grapeseed oil, and then sea salt, and the three of them together makes an amazing scrub. So if you're getting that, then definitely maybe try a sea salt scrub before you shave, to try and just exfoliate that extra skin. That might help a little bit as well. Because that happens with people who that happens often too with people who are getting waxed instead of shaving. They end up with that sort of thing as well. And the skin, that's when you get ingrown hairs and things as well, where the skin gets stuck over top. Yeah.
So oh my gosh, I have such a list. Honestly, it's just not even funny anymore. I need to come around your house, Shannon.
It's funny, like Jasmine, who's an SCHH practitioner, she is a naturopath as well. She's been a naturopath for a really long time. And then I was a beauty therapist, like as my first thing. That's where I did aromatherapy, essential oils, hot stone massage, worked in day spas, make my own makeup and beauty products and stuff, right? And I was talking to her yesterday, and I said, I don't know, I'm a little bit nervous about this chat because it's such a big topic. There's so many different things involved with the whole health topic. So I don't know where this chat's going to go. It could go in all kinds of directions. So, yeah.
Well, we've covered everything. Sorry.
No, it's just best if I write a book and then just.
I'll read it. I'll order it.
Well, I have a question, Shannon, since we're talking about acne and stuff too. My boy, who's 15 years old, of course, we all had acne then, but his mom takes him to the doctor, and he's taking amoxicillin. He's putting some freaking cream on his face that I swear is making his face red. If we would do a salt scrub with that lavender oil in it for him to use instead of that stupid cream he's using, what do you think about that?
So when I was working as a beauty therapist, one of the things I realized too is that when it comes to acne, that a lot of it's internal as well. So if you get your boy doing, candida is also connected with acne as well. And so people with acne, a lot of the time they have an overgrowth of yeast. So yeast, when you have an overgrowth of yeast, it turns into, like candida, if it gets at a hand, what happens is it turns into this fungus that, it's harder to get rid of because the fungus has like this harder shell. It's kind of like if you think about a cockroach, like a cockroach, how they have, that harder shell and they're harder to kill sometimes. Not that you should kill stuff, but acne really, I think the best thing personally for acne that now I don't know if he's taking retinol A or if it has vitamin A in it. So oftentimes if you go to the doctor or dermatologist, they'll get your child or your teenager on a cream, a topical cream. It does make your face quite red and sensitive. So it might have some vitamin A or retinol A in there. It makes you sensitive to the sun. It's really makes your skin really red and sensitive. I guess the amoxicillin is more for the infection because of the follicles being infected, but if you can try and stay away from amoxicillin, I would. But I think you might see a big difference if you do one of the candida cleanses like that. I think a lot of it has to do with gut health, the correlation too. And I think the salt scrub might be a little bit too, the salt might be a little bit too irritating for his acne. It might just be a little bit too irritating, but there's some amazing, I can email you with some. There's different face mask. A clay mask is really good. I know you guys are talking about the bentonite clay and that in your last chat. Okay, shake back. Clay masks are really good for acne. It helps draw everything out. Also, try not to pick them, because if you squeeze your pimples, the sebum that comes out of them, because they're infected, that actually spreads to the other hair follicles and then can infect those ones as well and make the acne spread. There's definitely needs some exfoliation for sure. And then a moisturizer that's not gonna, make it worse. That's not too oily. Let's make it worse. Yeah. But definitely you're on the right path there with the exfoliation, just not the salt, because it might like sting his face or whatever. But I'll send you some names of some products that are really good.
We might want to put some of that stuff down in the description too as well. Let's talk. I'm sorry to take this, but this comes up all through this conversation. Is the candida yeast cleanse. So what can we do at home, or what do we have at home that we can remove the candida yeast? I know I have a problem with it. It's just it's constant. It's all over. So what can we use at home?
Most people, it's something like statistically, like 87% of people have an overgrowth of yeast or candida in their system. Like it's most people actually have it, and it really has a snowball effect of causing issues in other areas of people's lives. And like I said, with nutritional oncology, with a lot of these nutritional oncology, like the Gerson therapy Nori protocol, they're finding that even like 100% of their patients have an overgrowth of candida, which is, it's shocking. So of course, there's all these there's wormwood, there's these herbs that I mentioned in the Candiplex. I think they have this in North America as well. Garlic, like all those herbs that you and Heather were talking about are really good. Like the cayenne pepper is really good. You can make up your own drink with apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper. You can add a little bit of maple syrup in there to sweeten it a little bit. You can drink that hot, add some water to it, some lemon if you want. You can drink that hot or cold. It doesn't taste the best, but that will sort you out really quickly with a candida cleanse. While you're doing the candida cleanse as well, stay away from, like Heather, when you were mentioning the sugar, staying away from sugar, like all those. Stay away from gluten and all those any processed foods. Like you can still have eggs, for instance, with some spinach and some onion and stuff like that. Like garlic's really good. There's a ton of different things you can do for the candida, but just really trying to, the anything that will detox metals that we were talking about as well. So I did a candida cleanse years ago that I bought off the internet, and it was the apple cider drink I just told you. It was like lemons, apple cider vinegar, water, cayenne pepper, a little bit of the maple syrup, and literally within 24 hours my rash was gone on my hands. Like that it made me lose weight even just overnight. Like the weight gain that comes with high estrogen levels and things like that. Like women who have a hard time losing weight, due to their hormones being out of whack. You see those tests online where they say, oh, do this hormone test to find out your hormone type or whatever to lose weight. Well, you can't actually get your hormones down without, a lot of the time it's, you know, without doing a candida cleanse first. Like you can take like all these herbs till you're blue in the face, but if you've got an overgrowth of candida, like you've got to sort that out first before you can take both at the same time. But yeah.
So how often would you
remember-
have that drink? Sorry, Shannon, how often would you have it, morning, evening, or?
I think it's like 3 times a day that you have it. I can't remember the exact amounts, but you would want to take like, you know, maybe half a cup of it, or maybe 250 mils, or if you can. I remember doing it and having like, I found for me it was easier to take warm, so I had it in a mug, and I had that 3 times a day, and it sorted me out so quickly. And apple cider vinegar is another one that I use for everything. You can use it for a deodorant. Like I've been using it under my arms for years, because your sweat doesn't actually stink. So your natural sweat, when you sweat on your arms, doesn't stink. It's when bacteria actually gets in there and what makes it stink. So I've been using apple cider vinegar under my arms. It works amazing for hyperhidrosis, for bromidrosis, I should say, for BO, So apple cider vinegar is amazing for lots of things. It helps with like indigestion. If you've got heartburn and indigestion, take a little bit of that helps sort that out. Even like, it's amazing. I use it for lots of stuff.
And it's because we're told indigestion stuff like that is due to too much acid. That's not the case. It's not enough acid in your gut. And so the apple cider vinegar helps, right?
Yeah, and a lot of things that are acidic before we eat them neutralize as well. So like an orange, for instance, although it's acidic, when we eat it, it has an alkalizing effect on the body. So even though it's, and so that's like the apple cider vinegar, it helps, neutralize that acid, or whatever that's causing that. Even though it's acidic, it helps neutralize that as well. And digestive enzymes are what you really need if you have heartburn and indigestion. It means you have a lack of, it's usually due to a lack of digestive enzymes that you have. So taking the digestive enzymes helps to have that healthy ecosystem within the balance between the acid in the stomach as well. So digestive enzymes, and you can get natural digestive enzymes. They're like in fruits and vegetables. So you can try having an apple if you have it. Most fruits and vegetables have the natural digestive enzymes in them, and kimchi and sauerkraut are amazing. If I'm a bad girl and I have some of this refined sugary foods or whatever, and I overindulge over a period of time, sometimes I'll get the indigestion when I'm not eating the best or whatever. And kimchi is amazing. It's full of digestive enzymes in it. It's in there fermenting, and then it has like cabbage and ginger and spices, and I take a little bit of that and it just sorts out any indigestion I have, just like that.
I love fermented food. Just love it. I want to try that. Like in Iceland, I think they ferment like shark for like a year or something.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that? They just stick it in a bucket.
Heather's saying no to that one. I'm going to pass. I'll let you guys try that.
But it's so interesting how all the different countries have their fermented foods. It fascinates me. Do we have any more questions? Because we've been going like an hour and a half, guys.
Yeah.
I'd say just one last thing about the fermented foods was just be careful with kombucha. I know that like lots of people just swear by kombucha as being like the all health drink or whatever. But kombucha is like, alcohol is a class 1 carcinogen. And there's like a big link between alcohol and cancer. And, you know, it's interesting because alcohol, what makes alcohol? It's yeast. It's the fermentation of yeast. And so you also have that with kombucha as well, the fermentation of yeast as well. So I don't know if there's a link there. I personally, you know, feel there may be. I need to do a bit more research into that, but I feel like kombucha is one of them that you kind of need to be a little bit careful with, because it has like a similar process of making the kombucha as it does. Like it will turn into an alcohol if it's just fermented a little bit longer in the same process as alcohol. Yeah, of course, little bits of alcohol, you know, are fine, like as a preservative, and, you know, the flavonoids and in wine and stuff, you know, there is health benefits of alcohol in certain aspects as well, but it is a carcinogen, class 1 carcinogen as well. So yeah, that's all.
Wow. I could talk to you all day, really,
Mm.
just picking your brains about all these things. But
Yeah.
does anyone have anything else we want to add before we end?
I think
But-
this has been amazing.
Let's just tie it back to our hypnosis practices that we do, and we can help. You know, everybody is so different. Their diets, everything that they need is so different, and we can actually help you get your own answers in hypnosis to what you
Yeah.
need to be eating for diet and what you need to be taking for supplement. So it's very helpful. Plus, we're clearing
Yeah.
out the energetic parasites.
Yeah.
Then you can do the
Thank you,
cleanses.
Tony.
Yeah. And I really think that there is a link between eating natural, like high vibrational, high frequency foods that come from the earth, and helping us keep our frequency higher so that entities and that can't be attached to us. I really do think there's a link there between eating denser foods, and that opening up, you know, a gateway as well for entity attachments there as well. So
I did want to mention something that I wanted to mention earlier when we were talking about the parasites. I've got a multi-part session that I'm releasing. The third part is where we talk to the Pleiadians, and they talk about the parasites and the AI and the things that attaches to us. And they talk about, to keep these things off, it's as simple as raising your frequency and vibration, because they can't attach to you. So all of these different things that we're doing to get our health in better condition and to get our frequency in better condition through the inner healing and the work that you're doing, eventually these things are not even going to be able to come into our field, because we're going to be in a different frequency where they can't attach to us. But they talked a lot about that. You know, just learning how to shift your frequency through these different ways is also going to keep these parasitic energies off of you. So all of these things are all part of that.
I can't wait to watch your 6-parter, isn't it?
I think I lied. I said 6 parts and it's really 5, because the Syrians and the angels were in the same one. So
That's going to be
5
good.
parts.
Like,
Yeah, the
Kaz, I think
Pleiadian one's really good.
Kaz, I think it's like a TV show. Maybe we'll just wait till it all comes out before we watch it, because I watched hers this morning, and wait until tomorrow or whenever she's going to put out part 2. That's too long to wait.
Yeah, we'll just binge. We'll wait till she puts them all up and binge.
I'm not even finished with the last 2. I got 3 done, and the session was such a beast. And then transcribing it. Yeah, there's some interesting messages too that come through where I'm just sort of like, the Arcturian message is very interesting. So I'll just leave that there. I kind of had to go, do I want to put that one out, or what are people going to think when they hear this? But we'll just see.
Yeah, it's amazing what comes through, isn't it, in our sessions? I get loads of health stuff too. I need to go back and listen and make a note of all these things.
Yeah. We should be keeping a list, shouldn't we?
We should. Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
so much, it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon. That was incredible, all that
Amazing.
information. Really
Thank you so
appreciate you
much for
staying
having
up
me.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me, guys. I'm so happy to connect with you guys. And yeah, thank you so much.
This has been so helpful. I've learned so much. I know everybody else is going to get a lot of really great tips.
Yeah.
And we all have our lists now of all the things that we're going to rush out and get.
List of homework. That's what we
Yeah.
got, a homework to do.
Oh, fun homework though.
Oh,
Yes.
In
Better
fact,
health in
it's my
2023.
birthday in March, so I've got a birthday list going on already.
And I learned so much from you guys as well. I think we all learn a lot from each other. So
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you
Thank
to
you,
everyone that's
Shannon.
tuned in as well, all the chat, all the viewers. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Check out
Thank you.
Shannon's YouTube channel. And we'll see you all next time on Tony's channel.
Yep.
He's next.
January's
Thanks, you guys.
mine.
Love you.
Love you all. And
Yep.
remember, all of our contacts are in the description at the bottom. So you can just click all those links to get to us to ask any questions you might have.
Love you lots.
Love
Bye,
you all.
guys. Love you.
Bye.
Hey,
See you next time.
have a wonderful new year.
Yeah. Happy
You
New
too.
Year, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.